Hey, what's going on? Oh my God, we are live. Took a little hiatus, maybe 1 week, but geez, give us a break. I hope you like the shilling episode. The shilling, I got that on the brain. Let me. No, I'm gonna cut that because no, I'm not gonna do that. So hold on a second. Three, two. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Brian from SecretsBeverageLab.com, and guess what? We're back for another episode of the Secrets Beverage Lab podcast for Wednesday, the 25th of March, 2015. Geez, by this time next week it'll be April, and we just kicked March out. So we got 40 degrees outside. It's raining, snow's melting, and it scared Sean away. He's not here. Computer troubles, and it's just me and Carla. But we're here. I'm Brian from Secrets Beverage Lab, and this is Secrets Beverage Lab podcast. And I'm drinking the Riverwalk Brewing Company. It's a growler, so it's no label, but it is the Umbus, which is I believe it's their double IPA or their IPA that's just brewed with Columbus hops, and it is fantastic. I went down there. It's funny. I went down there on Saturday with my wife, and he was just on his way out to fly to San Francisco for the podcast out there, the Brewing Network podcast. So he was flying to a podcast.
Wow, that's cool.
I'm like, well, we just had you come on Google Hangout, but you're getting the royal treatment. but nevertheless, it's a great beer, and cheers to Steve and the guys at Riverwalk. Carla, what's happening?
Hey, Carla Lauder here, known online as Beer Babe. I'm actually drinking a Long Trail Standout, which is an IPA. I love you, Long Trail, but holy crap, stop coming out with different IPAs. There's like 10 of them now. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but there's at least 4 on the market right now that are all IPAs that are made by Long Trail. So it's very good. It's delicious. But every time I see a new one, I'm like, another one?
Allow me to ask a weird question. What makes this IPA stand out from the rest of their IPAs?
I don't know.
Is it a session IPA?
I don't think it is, actually.
Okay, I'll just go.
It's 5.2, so technically, yes, it's a session.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but yeah, you're totally right. It's just, if it can have the word IPA on the label, bring it.
Yep. And so apparently they're into a hoppy thing. I actually really like the one that they did. I guess is their winter seasonal IPA. I guess maybe I'm following along. This says seasonal in the corner. Maybe the other one's the winter one, which was Sick Day IPA, and that's the one that had like the excuses on the bottom of the 6-pack that you could read to your boss about why you were taking the day off so that you could go skiing, which was really fun.
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay, that's fun. And that one was really, really like kind of. It brought you out of the middle of winter.
I know, it's great.
It's very nice.
Yeah, well,
it's the only way to survive this winter, man. This winter has been rough.
Yeah, no, it's starting to go away. I saw my backyard for the first time in a while, so that's something.
Yep.
But yeah, so we don't have a guest this week, but again, very high ratings, high enjoyment of the Bissell Brothers podcast 2 weeks ago. Even the guys over at Bissell contacted me and said, thanks for it all. And if you haven't listened to it, it's the last episode before this one, and watch it on the YouTubes if you want. It's on there. But yeah, that was good times. But no guests. But we have some for the Seacoast, being a Secrets Beverage Lab podcast. We have some good news for those that are big fans of Kate the Great-esque beers, aka Russian Imperial Stouts. The brewmaster of Tributary, as we all know, Tod Mott, brewed Kate the Great for a couple years over at Portsmouth Brewery, and when he left, everyone was like, well, what's going to happen with Kate the Great? I know everyone was kind of like wondering, well, is the beer going to stay there? What's going to happen? So as it turns out, the name Kate the Great stayed with the brewery because as a marketing effort, they made the name Kate the Great, and people knew Portsmouth Brewery because of it. So sure, but the recipe went with Tod Mott. And then a year went by, 2 years went by, and then he opened up a brewery, and guess what? April 1st, no joke, he is releasing his Russian Imperial Stout, and I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, Carla, but they're like, it's no joke, but it is just beer. We want everyone to know that it's coming out, no joke.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Yeah, they're not gonna. You're not going to be punked when you show up at the brewery.
Yeah, it's a real deal. It's on Facebook. You can check it out on the Tributary page. But the basic rundown of it is it's Russian Imperial Stout, 2 bottles and 2 draft pours of the Russian Imperial Stout per person on a first come first served basis. We've all been to these kind of events. There's approximately 1,500 bottles available.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, it's not. So it's basically the first 750 people in line that want 2 bottles get 2 bottles. They're $16 a pop, and they're 500 milliliters. So I wonder what size that would be. Like what a 500 milliliter bottle looks
That's
like.
got to be like a middle. I don't have a bottle around me that's that size, but that's kind of it's a middle size because the 750s are the big guys.
It looks
right?
like a milk. It looks like a milk jug.
It looks like a milk jug?
From a quick Google, but
Huh.
but I don't. Oh wait, beer. It's like a stub. It looks like a little stubby.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe yeah. So yeah, so that I mean they're trying to stand out, and so draft pours at 8 ounces are $8 a piece, and there's food and stuff. But yeah, so if you get a chance, it is Wednesday. It's during the workday. I believe it's from it's 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. or basically 12 to shut down. But have you been there, Carla?
I have. I went kind of right after they got their stuff going on, late summer or early fall. I can't remember when.
Yeah.
But it was really, really early. Like it was almost like the first or second weekend they were open. So I haven't been back down there since. And I owe them a visit for sure. Although I don't think I'm going to be able to take Wednesday off to go down there. So in my dreams, but that's okay. But I'm glad they're making it, and at least for that location, it's in kind of like a pseudo strip mall thing. So at least there's plenty of parking. At least you don't have to do the whole like Portsmouth
Oh God, yeah.
Garage, stand out in the rain kind of crap. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of a better situation logistically. So that should be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the town of Kittery handles it. Even though it's in a pretty wide open part of Kittery. Just this is going to be their first like beer event, and I wonder how it's going to be. I mean, I know the opening of a tributary was huge, but this is like people are going to come from different states just for this day. I mean, sure they came for the opening day, but they're coming far and wide for this beer because they know of the caliber of it. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see. Because I mean, it's just like people go up to Allagash for the Cool Ship releases. It's kind of like it's that kind of deal. So.
And it's been a long time coming. People have been waiting a while to get more cake. So
yeah, and it was like I remember going in and he pointed to the tank. He's like, "That's the tank that's holding the supposed wannabe Kate." So they knew it was going to happen, and hopefully it's damn. Hopefully it's damn good. I'm sure it's damn good. I know Jeff from the head brewer over at Tributary tweeted that it tastes damn good. They had pints of it. And everyone's like, "Save some for us, you bastard!" Like, don't drink it all. Come on now.
Do you ever bake a cake and try too much of it as you're making it, and then you only have like half as much of a cake? That's what I feel like.
I made brownies instead. But yeah, so check it out on Bookface. But by the looks of it, if you go by Facebook standards, and we all know how much we love Facebook, 285 people are going according to Facebook. So hey,
already okay.
Still plenty of room left, and I'm sure if they bring their friends and moms and dads just to stand in line like Taskmaster or Task Rabbits.
What they call fools or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
So.
Somebody to.
Yeah, so check that out. So I think that's kind of the biggest news around here, just because it's been a while. But I know even I was at Portsmouth Brewery last week, and they still had their Imperial Stout on.
Oh,
so even
right? I like that one a lot.
Yeah, Royal Oak, it's great. And actually, 2 weeks ago, Ben Watts and I were over there, and they had it on cask. And a Russian Imperial Stout on cask, we were just like, we wanted to hug each other. Like, it was the best like kind of feeling for beer ever, because I never had that kind of beer on cask. It was crazy.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, I mean, what more can you say about the guy, about Tributary? So get over there, and if you want, and I'll try to be on the front lines. But people know me at work, and it's like, oh, if they know I'm out sick, or they know they know I'm coming in late, they know where I'm at.
What's happening? Yeah.
That's why I avoid Untapped at lunch sometimes. But but yeah, so that's it about that, and I'll put the link in the show notes. But speaking of the local stat woman of the podcast.
So I have two things, one little one, and then we'll talk about some beer advocate numbers. First, I just wanted to give everybody an update. We now have 58 breweries in Maine. We just added one called Squaretail Brewing up in Amherst, Maine, and don't worry, I had to look up where that was too. It's about 20 minutes east of Bangor. So if you go to Bangor and then kind of go out from there. The Bangor area is kind of kicking butt lately. Gagan Brothers is doing a big expansion. There's been a few that have opened this past year. Orno Brewing Company, just Friars. There's been a lot of activity up there, and I'm really kind of excited to go check some more of that stuff out. So once things thaw a little bit and it's not so flipping cold, I'm planning to go do a Bangor run and hook up with Chatta up there and
Nice.
get the tour from him because he knows he's obviously the expert up there. But I just wanted to welcome those new guys. I also put together a plan for some mini road trips that I'm going to be doing in the next couple months to try to get to all of Maine's breweries that I haven't been to yet. There are 20 out of the 58 that I have not visited, and I'm trying to make them in like different, like if I go that way for 2 hours, I can hit these 3 breweries.
Are there some that are just like out in?
Yeah, and then there's the one that's like 3.5 hours north, and then there's one that you have to take a boat out to an island to get to, and there's no cars allowed on that island. So
what? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's on MDI or not MDI. I'm sorry, Monhegan Island. So
wow.
It's a couple miles off the coast, and you get on a ferry, and you have to like stay at one of 4 hotels on the place. There's no camping, so it's gonna be that's gonna be an adventure. But I'm waiting until it's like actually summer to do that because then I'll. But I made myself a little geeky map of like where.
Well, that'll be awesome. And then, hey, bring your passport thing too. Get that stamped.
Yeah, and that's what prompted me to do it. Actually, is that they updated it with a bunch of new breweries on it. The Maine passport,
nice,
including one that hasn't opened yet. That's farthest away than all of them. So I'm just like, just don't open yet. I just can't get all the way out there. Okay.
God.
But that's Maine. But also wanted to give you guys a shout out that the American Craft Brewers Association or just Brewers Association, I should say, puts out all these press releases and stats about how crazy the growth of craft beer is, and I'm always really excited to see that. But their most recent article was actually about craft beer exports, and it was kind of a cool thing, which is basically the beer that we're not drinking. This is the same thing. Going back to Todd, like this is everybody else drinking our beer, and they announced that there was $99.7 million worth of export volume of beer. So they said 383,000 barrels, and that has increased by 35% since the previous year.
Wow.
Insane. So what I wanted to give you kind of a little pop quiz before I show this graphic. You already know the answer, but I'm going to give our listeners a chance to guess.
Yes.
Is that they've got this graphic of the fastest growing regions for exports. So in other words, where are they buying up more and more American beer and importing that into their market? And the choices are Brazil, Western Europe, Asia Pacific, so that's kind of the entire Asian region over there, Japan by itself, and then Canada. So if you had to guess, just which one do you think is getting the most growth? Now, I know you know the answer to this, so I'll just let people
I wish I could pipe in the Jeopardy sound, but I don't know how to pipe in sounds.
Okay. So the answer is actually Brazil. And in the last year has increased its imports of our beer by 64%, which is insane to me.
That's crazy.
That's just nuts. So the article actually goes on into a little bit more detail, like more fine-grained detail, but the fastest growing markets were Brazil, South Korea, Thailand, and the UK, which is pretty dang cool.
South Korea, that'd be cool. Did it say what beer in specific or no?
It doesn't in this, but I bet if we asked, they could find out. But they're saying that this is craft brewers, so this is not, them drinking Budweiser. This is.
It could be Yingling.
Could be Yingling. But I don't know much about, what we are exporting and who's exporting. That would be a really cool thing to find out. So I'm gonna see if I can share this graphic real quick, and then let's see if I know how to do that. Share screen? Is that it?
Thanks. Yeah, and then pick what you want, and then magic.
Magic.
Google. There it is. Oh.
Cool.
Sweet. Yeah, got it. Oh yeah.
So pretty awesome. Just a totally cool thing. You can read all about that on the Brewers Association website. We always talk about the beer that's going on over here, so I figured we could talk about it in other countries as well. And turns out I am actually going to Spain in May.
Nice.
I'm going to be for business, which is awesome, but I'm still like an extra weekend just so that I can have some time.
Hell
And
yeah.
I have been finding people on Twitter that are covering the Madrid, Spain craft beer scene. So
Shut up.
I will be talking about Spain beer when I come back, which is really
Nice.
fun. But there's actually 4 breweries right in Madrid, which is really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'll also be poking around now that I've seen this graphic to see what kind of American beer they have available over there.
I would also check on the 12% imports
Yep.
because I bet you some of the breweries
Oh, I
they
bet you're right.
they import are from there. 'Cause if I recall, one of the festivals in the one that was in Worcester, I
Yeah,
thought I saw a couple Spanish brewers there,
right.
but yeah, no, that's crazy, and it's one of those stats that you don't think would be a thing, but when it's that spread out, across the world, that it's pretty cool to have our beer going that way because we see plenty of it from everywhere else.
Right, exactly.
The Qingdaos, the Hofbrauhauses of the world, and
Yeah, and all the
all that.
Belgian beers and everything like
Yeah.
that. I'm kind of surprised that there's that much growth in England because we stole this IPA style from them and they're kind of
Yeah.
wanting it back and
Whoops.
and over the years their markets have changed and they are getting another another kind of resurgence in their own stronger
Totally.
beer styles, more American styles of that IPA, but apparently not fast enough because they're importing a whole bunch of ours.
Jeez, yeah, have it,
um,
and then hopefully, I mean, hopefully, if we get, I wonder if we can, yeah, well, maybe we'll reach out by next week and we'll figure out like kind of like what if we can get the numbers as to like what's the highest imported or exported craft beer. That'd be cool, but
really
I don't know if they want to disclose that information just for reasons of wait, this brewer X might be like wondering, well, why aren't you sending my beer out more
Right,
or something
right,
like
right. And
that?
and I can also pose that out to Twitter just to see if anybody knows,
Yeah,
or even knows if their brewery does export anything. Or
yeah,
they, is that part of their distribution? Because the people we've talked to are exporting to other states.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Not my state, but other states.
Not yet,
I
right?
mean,
Skipping
yeah,
over you
either
entirely,
way.
other side of the pond.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man. Well, geez. Well, I think I'll. How about speaking of my state? We'll do that sweet segue.
yeah, that's good.
So the spoiler alert for those that are listening and watching. This Sunday is the 5th year anniversary of me writing about beer. Yay! 5 years ago, and I didn't have a beard then. It all just happened overnight. No, but
Norm
so
rubbed off on you like a seed, and then it just grew across your face. Is
it's
that?
like a Chinese finger trap. I just can't get it off. Like it's yeah. But yeah, so I've been writing a lot. Obviously, met a lot of great writers and all of that. But I don't want to ruin my piece that's going to come out on Sunday. But I hope you read it. The not just you, Carla, everyone that's listening. But I the trend I've seen in writing is this, and the last couple of years, a lot of TV stations and article mills have taken a lot of liberties and have written articles that kind of put us, like myself, Carla, a lot of other beer writers that we know in a bad light because the articles aren't really anything of substance. This one is a great example, and I'll put this on the show notes, but it's from NH1, which is I believe it's a TV station out of Nashua. So TV stations can do it, and I've seen some do it well. I've seen WMUR do it well. They go on site to the breweries, and they in the Chronicle they do things well. So it gives you a nice insight. The premise behind this one, and actually, so full disclosure, I'm not on Facebook technically anymore, just by Messenger. But I was approached by one of the brewers at a brewery, and he said, "Did you see this list?" He goes, it's a great list, but the way they went about making the list was kind of out of bounds, and it was like, okay, well, what happened? So look, here's what we got going on here. So it's the top 5 breweries in New Hampshire, and so. And this is not true because I wrote the book on it. So I wonder when was this written? Because this was written. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt because this was written on March 10th, which was 15 days ago as of this recording. But it says in all, New Hampshire boasts 24 breweries across the state. Now, false, because when I wrote the book on the goddamn state, and at that point there were 25, and now there's easily 35. No, when we finished the book last year, there were 35 breweries.
I mean, and I am totally with you, and that drives me crazy. I will just say, for all of the people out there who want to know why it's so hard to say how many breweries there are in the state, there's two reasons. One, it depends on what you call a brewery.
Sure.
Two, they're changing all the time.
Yeah.
But if anything, when you see a number that's super low like that, you're like, where did they look that up? Like, what
Yeah.
source did they use to get that? That's why I keep my own spreadsheet, because I don't know. If you Google how many breweries are there in New Hampshire, you might find something written in 1996 that says there are like 5.
Oh,
So,
here's where they got it, and they even linked to it. I didn't even notice. As of from the New Hampshire Brewers map of last year, which no bash to well, no, there's 34 listed on this map, so
sorry.
it's very weird. So yeah,
Type of
so
34.
yeah, sorry, Travel Board of New Hampshire, no big deal. So maybe they didn't mean 34. So we caught something. We did this. But yeah, so it was May 2014 where there was 34 breweries, and there's since some more. But that kind of goes with it. Kind of shows you the amount of stuff that goes into this. But it says so in this NH1 top 5, we take a look at the highest New Hampshire rated beers according to the Beer Advocate ranking of its beers. And that just links to Beer Advocate. But it says Beer Advocate well-known site, blah, blah, blah. Let's cut to the chase. It says to qualify for this list, the breweries had to offer at least 10 different beers. So already that's negating the Beer Advocate rating of beers, because their NH1 is taking their own liberties on saying, okay, here...
Not a real brewery unless you have 10 different beers.
Totally, yeah.
I mean, like, I'm thinking of... who makes the Resonation? Is it Resonation?
Yeah, Great Rhythm. Yeah.
Great Rhythm makes like what, 2?
Yeah.
And they're fantastic.
So it's weird that they're just taking a subset of a subset at this point. So and they might not even have to say it, because sure, the breweries that have less than 10 might not make this list, but there might be some that do anyway. And it says tiebreaker. The tiebreaker of the top 5 goes to the brewery with the most beers.
Right. So
that's so crazy.
And I think it's also crazy that earlier when they were mentioning how many brewers they were like, oh, it's all about quality over quantity. And I'm like, well, clearly your list is about quantity.
Yeah. But I mean, and the list is fine. I mean, we've talked to them all except for one, which we need to get on. So we have Smutty Nose at 5, Throwback at 4, Earth Eagle at 3, Shilling at 2, which we need to get them on the show soon because they're awesome, and Stoneface at number 1. One of the things that hopped out as beer pun came out to me was reading Earth Eagle, and so Beer Advocate and Untapped are pretty similar in that you'll list every variation of every kind of beer.
Right, that's ever been made by that brewery ever.
But they
no longer available, or were made once, or whatever.
And Earth Eagle, has 6 beers on tap all the time. They only have 6 beers on tap. This article says if you blink while walking, blah 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 blah. It's a nano brewery that produces 78 beers. So to someone who's trying to start a brewery and they think, if I need to make nano level, do I have to make 78 beers? Kind of like, but still, it's like I'd imagine the guys over at Earth Eagle are like, well, we do that, but they're not all on at once. We're not like some Thirsty Moose or Navarre where you can just put on all these beers, but I don't know. It just sucks. It sucks for us.
Well, I mean, and what's sad is, I mean, the sad part is that this one at least tried to do something quantitative, as opposed to a lot of these other lists that bug me because it's like the best breweries in such and such, but they're just the 5 that come at the top of the Google rankings, or they're the ones that people have heard of from that state. It doesn't make them best. It's like, well, they may be your favorite, or they're the most well-known because you did a Google search and you wanted to make, the money on the article or whatever. But so I always see, every time I see the top X of X, I'm a little like,
Sure they are.
If I'm going to shift gears to something kind of a little bit more fun, that's a listicle that I actually liked.
Yeah.
Was I think it was today, maybe, or yesterday. Very recently, Boston Magazine wrote an article that's called "The Best Beer That's Not Mine." And what they basically did, they interviewed a bunch of New England brewers and then a celebrity, and basically asked them, okay, other than your own beer that you make, what's your beer? And what I liked about that was it tells you a little bit about the brewer and who they are. And then you get to hear about beers that brewers like. So clearly, there's good opinions in there, and So just a quick rundown for you guys. Like, it's a very short list, but it's pretty cool. So John Kimmich, who, as you guys should know, is the founder of The Alchemist, makes the heady topper.
Yep.
His favorite was Allagash White, actually, which I found really funny because it's almost like the opposite of heady topper.
Yeah, it's
like,
a cool down.
So not hoppy. But he said it's not easy to create a beer with such a distinct and bold flavor profile while keeping it restrained and balanced the whole time. Classically delicious, which I could not agree with.
Awesome. Yeah.
Totally awesome.
Wow.
Noah Bissell, who we had on the other week, of Bissell Brothers, actually said Maine beer company Peeper, also one of my faves. Nice dry, kind of bright IPA. Love that beer. Mo is my favorite Maine beer company.
Oh, same. I'm with you there. I love it.
I'm a Mo girl all the way. Like, all these people going crazy about lunch and swooning over lunch. I'm like, nah, give me a Mo.
Hey, great beer, but Mo any day.
Mo is my fave.
Yep.
So then we had Megan Parisi, who is head brewer at Wormtown. She was formerly from several other different breweries. She was originally, I think, at the CBC, Cambridge Brewing Company, and then went to Blue Jacket
in DC,
and then came back up to work for Wormtown, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
She's an awesome lady. She picked Notch Serenade Pivo, and that is a kind of a dark. I don't know what.
It's basically it's a session Schwartz beer. Beer. Yeah.
Oh, it's a session Schwartz beer. That's it. So it's like roasty. Like,
oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
That sounds really awesome. I would like to try that one personally.
Oh yeah.
Daniel Kleben, who is the head brewer at Maine Beer Company, who's also been a guest of the show.
Friend of the show, yep.
And this is kind of fun. It's like, oh, look, we know these people.
Yeah, right. Maybe they've told us this. We have to go back and watch the show. No.
Loves Lawson's Finest Liquids, Sip of Sunshine, and that is a fantastic beer. If you are into the hops and into the it's one of those ones that it is like a sip of sunshine. They're out of Vermont. They only distribute in Vermont. One of those, like, good luck getting it beers. Yeah. But fantastic. And then they also interviewed Mindy Kaling, who I love her. She's super funny. And she's a big fan of Sam Adams and all the seasonals that go with them, which is pretty cool.
Nice. It looks like that's all. So she's on the front cover of it's like a whole beer issue. So that's pretty cool.
It's apparently a whole beer issue, which now I have to go find it.
Yeah, same here.
That makes me sad. So in the article itself, they've got this great picture of Mindy drinking a beer like a normal person. Like, I was like, oh, thank you for putting a woman drinking a beer and not, being a sex pot while she does it. Like, yes.
Wait a minute.
But on the front cover.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute.
But on the front cover, she's drinking a beer with a straw.
Classic Mindy.
Which I was like, no.
No,
so I got all happy, and then I got all confused.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah.
Like a little soda fountain girl kind of thing. It's just, I was like, no.
Great show though, Mindy.
Yeah, fantastic show. Hilarious. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that list because that list, at least, it's somebody's opinion.
Yeah, it's
opinion that you trust or you're interested in.
Right.
I think that's cool.
And believe it or not, most articles are lists, but they don't just call them out as that. It's like, here are these brewers. Sure, there's 7 of them, but we're just saying, here's brewers that are tell me what you like. It's totally fine to do that. It's just not fine to do it in such a way where whatever. That was kind of crappily put together, but it's not like a BuzzFeed article saying, here are the top 12 beers in the world. And like, I don't know. I
only had one of them, and the rest were Googled.
Yeah, exactly. but then, so what's worse? I mean, if you guys, we don't have to talk about it because it's on the same site and it's got to be in the magazine. But they also released one yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. The top 21 breweries in New England.
Oh yeah, that one's a cool list, actually.
And it's from people that we all know. Lauren Clark, who wrote the book Crafty Bastards. Heather, God, I always mess her last name up. Van den Engel. She's been on the show. Beer Advocate writer Andy Crouch and Christopher Hughes, who I'm not sure who that is, but amongst a roster of great beer writers, it's their opinions, which is great, and it's a great list, I thought.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed that list because it had a lot of people that don't normally make those lists.
Yes.
And that made me give this a little bit more respect because I was like, oh wow, look, Banded Horn is on there. Yeah, like, yeah. And I think they use them as the header picture. I think they're the first picture.
Yes,
Love
yeah.
the article, and it's just a fantastic picture of a growler getting filled up at Banded Horn. So
Yeah, there's a great picture of Earth Eagle in there too. I only think, I mean, the only hesitation I have at this list is I don't like the number. I don't like the ranking system. I mean, I wish it was here are the top 21, but in no order. But
yeah, and they
I
didn't
mean,
really say how or why they ended up in
yeah,
that order. But honestly, I care less about the order than I do whether or not they're included on the list. I don't.
totally. No, that's what I'm saying too. Is like I'm fine with that, and I mean, obviously
And I don't think there's any stinkers. Like there's nobody on this list that I'm like, nah.
here. So, do you want to hear my theory? And
Yeah,
this is a uncensored theory on the whole thing, and it's not bashing any brewery that's on the list.
yeah,
But I believe if there's one brewery on this list that everyone's going to argue why are they on the list and not my brewery that I like is
like that.
Narragansett.
Yeah, I bet you were gonna say Narragansett. Yep.
And so I saw it and I'm like,
You cannot
cool.
count.
I respect the hell of it, and there's some great social media people, and I mean the great beer, but it's just one of the ones that you don't see on those lists, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, so that's someone is going that way with this, and I don't know.
Although they have been recently, and I've tried a few, like they have like different beers other than the regular plain old Genset now.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They've been actually pretty good. I've been surprised, but I think one of the reasons they could get a pass for me is that obviously they are a part of New England culture and they're also very popular.
definitely.
So it's one of those things that like leaving them completely off would kind of, in a way, get rid of a huge chunk of people that is their go-to beer.
Yeah.
And so, but I like they have one, and it's not in the picture. They have one that's like I want to say like it's an anniversary beer, or like they did like one that was like a legacy version. I can't remember the name of it, but it was just awesome. It was like
Yeah.
I could drink that all the time.
Yeah.
And then the shandy, a lot of people were drinking that this summer. I got shandied out last summer, so.
I've yet to shandy, but I started to get into the oh god, the grapefruit
Oh,
rattlers.
oh,
Rattlers.
did you have 6 points? Well,
Yeah, so actually, that's the only one I've had so far.
yeah, it's really good.
So good. Yeah, but so yeah.
I started making my own, doing all kinds of experiments.
Oh really? With like what do you use? Like Allagash White maybe? And
Yeah, I tried a bunch of things. It works when they're not as hoppy.
okay.
So that Allagash White's kind of a good one because but it has a lot of flavor to it already. So I tended to pick like lighter stuff. I think I was doing it with what did I do it with? I did it with Mida a couple times, Main Island Trail Ale, because it's like a light.
Oh man, I love that beer too. Yeah.
And that was really nice. But you have to get the ratio right, or otherwise it's just grapefruit juice. Or
Yep.
beer.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Or just it's like a spritzer.
right, I did not perfect it, so I'm looking forward to trying a little bit more this summer because I was at that
Yeah.
point like, oh, I guess it's grapefruit juice now. Oh well, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hear you. Yeah. But yeah, and I know past host of the show, Mike was a huge fan of the shandy. He's said he's been to Dell's, so like to bring that whole thing full circle of like having both places or both drinks at both places. But yeah, that's purely based off of I know that's what people will think, and
Yeah.
because I thought of it or because
Right.
I thought that I also think that, but I mean,
Right. No,
I'm not a
I hear you. That's the one. That's the one people are going to ping on. But honestly, I haven't heard very much negative feedback about this list. I think a lot of people have been pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it's if anything, it highlights these breweries, and if you haven't been, go. And I'm sure maybe next year there'll be another list of because
Yeah.
there's so many breweries out there. So
So many. Always more. Always.
yeah. What else do I got? I think I had one more quick. Oh, I know. Well, Cambridge Brewing Company is on that list. I'm not sure what. Oh, number 20. But I saw a post from the Two Beer guys. I wanted to give Sean a shout out because I found out about it on his blog that this weekend is their Sour Fest, and it's
Oh.
yep Saturday from 11 a.m. to close. They're going to have all 12 of their taps are going to be all sours, and I guess what's different from last year is there's no tickets. It's just come on in and you can try all the beers because they didn't want people standing out in the cold waiting. So it's just kind of like so I'm actually going to head down there because
That's awesome.
the old
occupied, or I would be there too because I love sours and I love their sours. They're really good.
because the wife was a little upset that we didn't go to Extreme Beer Fest, but shortly after we got over that, this article came out. So I'm like, oh my God, look, there's this thing. Let's go to that. So we're super pumped to go to that. But yeah, Extreme Beer Fest. Hear anything about that?
I heard a lot of people had a lot of fun. I saw a lot of my kind of Portland beer geeks that I know taking like selfies with San Pellegrone and stuff. To me, like I like extreme beer, I like weird beer, I love all those people, but it's really not my scene. Like it's too crazy for me.
Oh, same. Yeah, and I was talking to someone at Earth Eagle yesterday, and it's tough when it's even tough at regular festivals, like at the one at Red Hook, the New Hampshire Brew Fest, where the extreme beer is like the one you try last. Now it's like like the Goose Island Bourbon County is like the Coors Light of this extreme beer fest. You know what I mean? Like
exactly, and I also, and I have trouble with like after I have one or two really strongly flavored beers, I can't taste anything else after that. So it's hard for me. Like I'll enjoy them like that. Like I'll make it my last beer of best, but it's a little too much for me. I do enjoy them in general, but I can't enjoy them in quantity. I just can't. Like it's
kind of like a museum thing. It's like you pay $60 just to go see the extreme beer.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, it's 2012. Like I saw that in person.
Right.
It's like the Mount Rushmore of beer events.
I still have I think a 2009 Worldwide Stout in my basement. That's my extreme beer.
That's gonna pour out like molasses. It's gonna be awesome.
Essentially, so that'll be fun.
Awesome.
I was doing some rearranging in the basement, and I was like, "Holy crap! I forgot I had this."
Nice. Well, geez, I think that's all I got for now. I mean, do you have anything coming up around in your area? I mean, anything that you're working on? Or?
For myself, I'm gonna pitch myself.
Yeah, what do you got?
Started writing for the Ballard, which is that's not my article with the butt in it, but
sure it is.
But I started writing for the Ballard, which is a monthly publication in Portland about everything basically Maine and Portland. It's kind of like alt weekly, but I'm really just kind of excited because this is me like in print, legit, like for real.
You gotta frame that. Oh, look at that! Even your oh, come on now. The whole that's really, a whole page. You
on my wall. Yeah, I get a whole page. It's like 850 words or something like that.
That's awesome.
The Thirsty Pig was nice enough to give me a shout out in their little ad. It's probably backwards to you actually, but it says "Welcome to the Ballard Beer Babe." So I just wrote my second one, which comes out. The next issue comes out tomorrow actually. So first one was about canned beer. Interviewed a bunch of people. Noah the Bissels, Luke Livingston, and Joel from Luke Livingston from Baxter, Joel from Foundation, because the Foundation had just started canning at the beginning of March. So.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So actually, the whole reason I wrote that article was that it's now 20% of all Maine breweries are offering at least one of their beers in cans.
Is Nice doing theirs in cans or no? I think it's
no. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Okay. They had bottles. I saw beer sold.
But like a bunch of the other ones do like at least one. So like Rising Tide puts Mida in cans. Yeah. Urie's puts their summer beer in cans. Booth Bay Harbor just started canning. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Yeah.
I keep turning around and going, "Ha! You're canning!" Ha! And then Sebago is canning all their seasonals now.
Like which one?
Started with Simmer Down, and then they'll do Bonfire Rye and whatever. I got to see the can designs; they're really cool.
Bonfire and cans? Oh my God, this is oh boy.
That's like best summer ever. I'm just gonna have like Simmer Down like cases of that stuff.
Yep. That's awesome.
Seriously, that's gonna be my whole summer.
Oh man. So what's your next article about?
My next article is about saisons and how don't rush into summer beer quite yet. Just kind of give yourself a minute to pause and try a saison and get yourself out of the winter funk. Awesome. The editor had to like get rid of a whole paragraph because I just lamented about how fucking bad this winter was. And he was like, "We probably don't need to recap that." And I'm like,
everyone knows, and they don't want to read about it.
But I was like, I wallowed in it this winter, man. It was hard.
Oh, it sucked.
But basically the point of the article is, give yourself time to like reset your senses, like reset yourself. Go try a couple saisons. Go try something different because they can be really kind of subtle. Because I crutched my way through winter drinking like heavy stouts and super hoppy things to try to like pretend it's spring.
Oh yeah.
And I got really tempted because a lot of the summer beers are coming out already to go straight to summer, and then I thought, no, I need to just back up.
Yeah.
And just kind of like ease into it.
It's tough. It's tough, even for those that are well versed in beer, that just to hold off on the seasonals because they'll be around or you're afraid they won't be. I don't know, but
like they're releasing or they just brewed I don't know what the timing is, but they were announcing at Rising Tide they already brewed the first batch of Mida, the Main Island Trail Ale, which I freaking love.
Yes.
And I was like,
great beer.
Oh, Mida! And then I was like, okay, wait, calm down.
Just jump into the cans. Ah!
Let me have a Spinnaker first. You know, like, let me just.
Yeah. Work your way to it. It'll be there.
But I feel like somebody who's been locked in a basement for like weeks. Like, just
Oh God. It's how it goes in Portland. I'm sure the same way as in Portland is, you know, the snow clears and you start to see people that you hadn't seen all winter because you're all at home. You're like, how have you been? Oh, train. Even the train's like, this guy.
Yeah.
Wait for it. One more. There it goes. It just came from you. You sent us this train. The Down Easter's coming right through.
That's funny because I think I heard it earlier here. But
oh, nice. You should have put a beer on there.
It's not super far away from me. It's probably about a mile and a half away from you.
Oh, right. Yeah, this one's going over to Exeter and down over to Boston. But yeah, I mean, anything else? Well, actually, no. Wait, where can you get the magazine or the paper? Sorry.
It's free, and it's available in a lot of different places around Portland. So, like, they have piles of it at Novare Res. You can get it, you know, kind of at bars and hotspots and you know, hotels. And it's everywhere. But it's also online at theballard.com. And they don't put the online version up until like a week after the print version comes out. So the print version for the next month will be out tomorrow.
Okay.
And the article should be up the following week.
Sweet. I'll make sure to put it up in the
little. It's fun because it's an eclectic group of writers that are writing about lots of different things. It's a nice snapshot of some of the interesting stuff going on in Portland. It's not your typical like. And today they had a town hall meeting.
Yeah.
Very like the cover article is about how Wharf Street, the back part of it, over by like Oasis and that place where you can pour your own beer, which is named Bonfire, unfortunately.
Never heard of it. Oh my God.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like a Coyote Ugly thing where they have like girls who dance on the bar, and then they have like a card you can get that you put in, and you can pour your own beer.
Yeah.
They don't monitor people's alcohol consumption at all, and they pour like whiskey shots at happy hour. It's like it's not a good
bar rescue.
There are people that pour out on the Wharf Street and then get sick, get in fights. So the whole article is about basically that the hotels are mad that this is there, and nobody seems to care about all these blatant liquor violations. But all the liquor enforcers will like give a brewery that's doing fine like a hard time about a technicality, but they won't do anything about this. So
I never thought I'd see the day where the page would move up to Portland, but
yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I mean, it's bad even in the winter. So I'm a little like, this is gonna be terrible in the summer.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Well,
so I think calling attention to it was probably a very good thing. But it's a really good, interesting collection of stuff. They talk about what's going on in media. They talk about what's going on in politics. It's
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's suitable that it has some good beer stuff there, and obviously, if anyone knows, it's you. So, jeez, don't want to be someone from TV1 up there or whatever.
No.
Shout out. But yeah, so what else you got? Any events?
Not in the near future, not this weekend anyway. This weekend I'm going to a friend's and we're doing our belated St. Patrick's Day boiled dinner thing. So we're all going to drink beer and eat some corned beef, which will be awesome.
Nice.
The following weekend I'm probably going to do the first one of my little road trips.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to go up to the Skowhegan area and hit up 3 breweries in Bataway. It's about 2 hours up. Or it's like an hour and a half up, and then they're like about 25 minutes apart each, and then come back.
Okay.
So it's totally doable in a day, and they all happen to be open on a Saturday. So I was like, hey,
perfect.
Overlap. Let me go get that done because there's a lot of breweries left that I have to do, and if I can kick one out right, early in April, then that'll help me out.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Well, document it well. I suppose you will though.
Oh yes, that's the plan.
Awesome.
Definitely the plan.
I got nothing. But I think by this time next week, I will have some sort of photos or video from the Russian Imperial Stout release if I end up getting there. But
cool. Yeah, I want to hear that.
And it sucks because my attitude towards white whales is way different than a lot of other people. Where it's like I'm not gonna kill myself, but if I see it, if I even see like a little chance of me getting something, like of course I'll go. But so I'll gauge interest from different breweries this weekend and ask around like, you guys going? Oh, and I'd be like, oh, you shouldn't go. I heard it's bad, and like make my own spot. I'll take a spot.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I'll just monitor the you know
You could just start a rumor that it is an April Fool's joke, and they should come the next day.
that'd be
That would be
awesome.
cool.
That'd be awesome.
Super.
So hopefully by the podcast I'll have something, or maybe Sean will have some news or something. But yeah, other than that, I got nothing much. Like I said, Sour Beer Fest this weekend, checking it out. Still on my quest. I should make a documentary out of it. My quest for sours, because my wife's all into it. She's all in on that, and it's one of those things where I want to try to like them, and
you just got to learn and be exposed to it. I mean, there's so many different kinds. I mean, half of it is just finding what little vein that you really like and like following that. For me, first couple ones I tried, they were just so weird that I couldn't get over it. But once I found, like, I like the tart ones, the ones that are like almost like a vinegary, like tart, not the lactic acid, weird, milky. So, but I drink those now. I got into it by like the things that taste like, you know, grapefruit juice and, you know, those kinds of that direction. But I had to figure out that sour could basically mean one of like 18 different things.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one, and sometimes it smelled like a basement, and I was like, I don't really want to drink this.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Oh boy.
Now I drink them all because I understand which is which, and I know what I should expect.
Yeah. I was down at night shift a couple weeks ago, and I had my wife ordered the sours they had on, and they had I think 3 at the time, and I loved one of them. Like, oh my god, I'm there. Like I'm at your level. Get out of my way. And then I tasted one. I'm like super tart. And I'm like, oh boy, maybe next time. But I know it's good. That's the thing. I can tell.
If you start making like a little list of the ones you do like.
Yeah, and I can tell. Yeah, I can tell a good beer from a bad beer. So luckily, it wasn't like this beer is. It wasn't suitable to my senses, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's a risk too with the sours. I have definitely ordered sours before that were not intended to be sour. You know what I mean? Like somebody said, "Oh, that tastes funky. Let's make it a sour," and you're like, "This is not intentionally good.
Yeah.
This is wrong."
That line is sour going into that normal beer. So no. But I think so. Next week we have nothing lined up yet, but we do have things in the hopper. I know Sean was working on some good folks to come on, but I guess until next week, Carla, it's just us gals tonight. But thanks for sharing some sweet stats, and
absolutely.
And we'll see you next week on the podcast. Cheers.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Bye.